C'est la teuf en au tribunal.
Antoine, tu nous entends? Antoine, tu es où? Antoine, tu nous entends?
Aujourd'hui, je suis jugé.
Antoine, est-ce que tu nous entends? Allô?
Tu pourras pas parler, toi.
Allô?
Les artistes arrivent.
Antoine.
Antoine, tu pourras plus parler si tu m'entends pas.
Oui, je sais, mais voilà, tu me dises que c'est bon, tu m'entends.
Non, parce que c'est pas toi qui parles.
Mais faut que je lui demande si du coup, qu'est-ce que je fais?
Non, Simon, il va te le dire. Oui, c'est lui qui te le dit. Vous avez pas intérêt à parler. Est-ce que je pourrais faire des câlins pendant vous écoutez, c'est bien sûr. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait?
Tu vas marquer, je crois.
Ça marche le travelling là
Elle bouge la caméra.
Eh oui, on le sait, mais il faut qu'elle soit sur la ligne.
Oui, c'est pour ça.
Et là, la ligne, faut qu'elle prenne.
Andiamo.
Nino, tu me mets fais là?
Ouais, moi je me mets tout. Malade. J'ai pas de chaise.
Oui.
Voilà. Vous attendez là, il y aura quelqu'un qui va vous guider un peu. Enfin, il n'y aura pas grand chose à faire. Vous attendez là et quand ce sera à vous, il y aura juste à venir.
Pas de problème.
Il y aura juste à venir ici.
Mais laisse ta fille là devant.
J'ai pas une chaise.
C'est pas censé la
Ouais, par là,
C'est pour ça. Bonsoir.
Il en reste des chaises.
Dis fin de la séance.
Moi je vais me taper une barre à la fin. T'es sûr? Non.
Je vais la tuer si elle se tape une barre.
Non,
Si.
je promets, je me tape pas de barre.
Si tu tapes une barre, t'es morte.
Et si je me tape pas de barre? Et moi je dois
Bah, je tapais une clope.
Les témoins.
Ouais.
C'est un petit détail.
Non, mais toi tu étais là.
En fait, oui, je vois le texte.
Le direct c'est commencé.
C'est bon?
Et madame, je dois utiliser quand le marteau et je dois dire quoi? Il faut que j'arrive directement et il faut qu'elle me fasse reculer.
C'est chiant des gros.
Tous ceux qui vont être amenés à parler sur ce micro viennent et puis font un ou deux essais de. Un ou deux essais de voix pour voir si vous parlez assez fort. Non, faut que tu te mettes normalement.
Normalement, comme ça.
Comme s'il n'y avait pas de micro en fait.
My name is Ayn Helen Judy Michaelen.
Bah, attendez, moi je vais essayer.
Mais non, on fait un test son,
Attends.
Manu.
Moi je vais faire mon petit test son.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Attends, je vais.
C'est bon? Très bien, non, c'est bon, c'est bon.
Good morning, your honor. Oh la taille. T'as patience, Val.
Bah à la fin. Non, tu fais de machin et ça. Ah ouais, ok. J'ai pas la feuille moi.
Tu m'enverras ces photos, Nino. Lily, prends avec mon téléphone.
Non mais c'est bon. On va t'envoyer après. Mais franchement la meuf.
Jean.
Salut, salut.
Vous avez le marteau? Oui.
Oui, ça c'est
Jean.
À la fin, quand on donne le verbe.
Elle m'énerve, Jeanne.
Mais non mais c'est pas grave.
Jean.
c'est qui votre personne?
Désolée pour tout à l'heure.
Frappe-la, Jean.
Et je suis exténuée par contre, vraiment.
Je fais les oreilles de lapin. Non, je déconne.
Non, je fais comme Lucas.
Arrête.
Vous avez la Bible là? C'est vrai.
La vraie, attention. En anglais, vous avez la Bible en anglais?
Je dirais qu'en français, j'arrive pas à la lire. Alors.
Moi non plus, j'ai jamais eu de ma vie, moi. Je l'ai eu en BD, c'était déjà pas mal.
Parce qu'en fait,
C'est le Nouveau Testament.
elle qui me l'a donnée, celle-là, et elle faisait partie du. Comment? Elle n'était pas protestante.
Anglicane.
Nouvelle-Angleterre ou quelque chose.
Anglicane, madame, on dit.
My fucking god.
Tu l'as allumé? Je me capte pas.
Il parle tout.
Parce que c'est en direct, je crois.
Et elle a épousé d'ailleurs un pasteur.
Your Honor, the member of jury. Mais c'est une anglicane. Hein? Mais c'est une anglicane, madame.
C'est pas grave, Val, on te soutient.
Merci, mon cœur. T'es bonne.
Tu fais quoi?
Bonne.
Et ça va finir sur YouTube ça?
Me dis pas que ça fait finir sur YouTube.
Ça part sur des propos racistes. Ça pousse un blackface, on est bien. Ah, en gros, c'est des preuves que. Mais oui, il a été.
N'oubliez pas que vous n'êtes pas là au début.
Oui, oui, je sais, mais c'est que je dois faire les tests.
Mais parle maintenant alors.
Fais 1, 2, 1, 2. My name is Pauline.
Test 1, 2, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2. J'ai l'impression que ça marche pas.
Encore.
Oui, oui.
Vas-y, parle.
All the rise for the honorable... non. Will the
elle est
plaintiff lawyer
stressée.
Emmanuel Lumino please make her opening statement?
Non, mais toi, fais pas. Non, mais fais-le pas.
Mais non, je le fais pas, c'est pour de faux.
Non, non, parce qu'elle était prête à le faire, hein, je vous
Faut
reviens.
te rapprocher du micro, hein.
Ok.
Il est très sensible, donc ça,
Très bien.
mets-toi à l'aise et puis.
C'est un SM58, je le vois.
Mets-toi à l'aise et fonce. Allez hop.
Il va vraiment rigoler quand il... Pardon? Ah, faut que je parle? Ok, ben... Thank you,
Hello,
Mr.
hello, les
Lumino.
boys.
The defendant lawyer can proceed with his opening statement.
Tu peux commencer?
Il faut se taire.
Je vous rappelle qu'on ne s'arrête pas. Hein.
Oui, oui. Il faut qu'on se mette debout quand Pauline elle arrive. Hein. Tu te rappelles? On est debout.
Putain, non, ça a pas commencé déjà là.
Emmanuel, il est très bien.
Alors, tous ceux qui sont pas utilisés.
Ah, la gueule, pardon.
C'est une blague, Valoche.
Elle est pas professionnelle. Hein.
Tu vas la fermer ta gueule.
T'as le micro, je te rappelle. Non, je déc.
J'ai tout
Bon,
entendu.
amusez-vous bien.
Salut.
On commence au top du.
Je te fais des olives.
Antoine.
Ah ouais, fais pas ça.
Si, je fais.
C'est bon.
We will now hear the case of Bruce Trevorrow. All rise for the Honorable Judge Pauline Massé.
You may sit down. Will the plaintiff lawyer Emmanuel Lumino begin with their opening statement, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Today we are here to talk about Bruce cases. I'm the lawyer Emmanuel Lumino and my client is Bruce Trevorrow. At the age of 13 months, he was taken to hospital because he was suffering from health problems. More precisely, stomach problem and chronic diarrhea. It was on 1957 Christmas Day. Joseph Trevorrow, his dad, asked neighbors to take him for treatments to the Adelaide Children's Hospital in South Australia. On admission, the hospital recorded that Bruce had no parents and that he was neglected and malnourished. 3 untruths that were to change his life forever. They mean that Joseph Trevorrow, who died some 8 years later, will never see his son again. Then, the 6th January 1958, Martha Davies and her husband visited the Children's Hospital and decided to take Bruce home. Concerning Martha Davies, the first exhibit, the exhibit number 1, proved that Martha Davies was mentally disturbed. Moreover, the hospital did not inform that the host family that Bruce was epileptic. But the exhibit number 2 proved it's a paper of the hospital and proved that Bruce was epileptic. Then the hospital said to the Trevorrow's family that Bruce was always sick in the hospital. Exhibit number 3 is the letter of the hospital and answering that Martha Davies and that Martha Davies was mentally disturbed. Your Honor, member of the jury, it was the cruelest of lie. Bruce was kidnapped from his family because of a lie. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lumino. The defendant lawyer can proceed with his opening statement then.
Your Honor, the member of jury, we are here today to judge the case of Mr. Bruce Trevorrow. The government cannot be held responsible for what the plaintiff is asking for. Mr. Trevorrow is an ordinary man who received a good education by his adoptive parents. Thanks to us, he had a better life, a normal life, that he would never have had if he had lived in his own family. His neighborhood take care of himself and he had a social assistant.
I've heard all your opening statement. The plaintiff lawyer may call his first witness now.
I call Bruce Trevorrow. Please.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please present yourself.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am Bruce Trevorrow. I live in 400 Kent Street, Sydney. I am 51 years old. I am here because 15 years of my life restaurant, and the rest of my life has been a disaster. On my life, I was looking for my identity during 10 years. I didn't understand why I was beyondly black in white family.
How was your life school when you were a child?
At school, I was bullied and I lost all of my self-confidence. Most of my life has been lost to me. All of that was very traumatic.
Objection, please.
Sustained.
My witness will show to us that Bruce Trevorrow bullied too.
And today, what are the consequences on your life now?
I am alcoholic and depressed, and I can't hold a job.
Thank you.
Is that your testimony? Do you wish to say anything else?
No.
So the defense lawyer can lead the cross-examination.
Bruce, did you have the feeling that your adoptive parents loved you?
To be honest, I don't know if my foster parents loved me, but I'm sure that Martha Davis was mentally disturbed and not able to take care of me. That's probably why she left me.
Okay, and do you know how the life is in the bush?
No, because I've never lived in my real family.
So we have an ordinary Australian who will be an Aborigines and who don't know the bush's life. Your Honor, this case is just a waste of time.
I've heard the first witness. The defendant lawyer may call the second one.
I called Mrs. Michael.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
So, Mrs. Michael, please present yourself.
My name is Helen Judy Michaelen, and I'm 45 years old. I have lived in Melbourne Centre for 3 years. As a stylist, I'm very busy. When we were 7 years old, Bruce and I were in the same classroom at St. Joseph Elementary School in North Melbourne. In general, Bruce and I, we wasn't friends, and as I remember, we didn't see each other after we left school.
And what was the behavior of Bruce at school?
I remember that when Bruce arrived in January in our classroom, Bruce was a very solitary child, and unlike us, he was the only black child, and it made him different. Bruce was, hated this fact, and his behavior changed very quickly. First of all, he had knew that Bruce wasn't liked by the other children because of this difference, and he was alone all the time. Then I had decided to try to be nice with him and to create a contact, So Bruce never had reacted, and he always ignoring my efforts. After 3 months, he suddenly had become violent. In fact, one time I wanted to talk with him like every week, but he sharply showed me a piece of paper with the inscription, "Dirty Negro," on it. His facial expression was full of hatred, and his eyes of tears and dread. We were in the middle of the playground and started to hit my face, and his fist stronger and stronger, maybe 3 or 4 times. I collapsed on the ground under the violence of his blows. I shouted him to stop, and he did. I had seen through my lashes covered with blood that he was unrecognizable, and probably 1 minute after, my teacher took him in the school grounds and I was taken care of by the nurse. I knew later that he was expelled from school the same day. I can remember his violence and his craziness as it was yesterday.
How was the behavior of his classmates with Bruce Trevorrow?
They're just ignoring him, He wasn't very with us.
And do you know who wrote the piece of the exhibit 4? The piece of paper saying "Dirty Negro"?
I still don't know.
So it was probably someone from the classroom, isn't it?
It could be.
Okay, thank you.
So, do you know why Bruce had this behavior at school?
As I said, Bruce was very solitary. he was always alone. I think he became violent because of the insults, but furthermore, I don't really know what happened in his brain, you know. It was very strange.
So Bruce was not sociable?
It wasn't.
Okay, thank you.
Objection.
Sustained.
He built because he was built by the other children during a long time. He even received a lot of racist remarks. Exhibit number 4 proved that Bruce received lots of racist remarks. Thank you.
Is your examination done?
Yeah.
Okay, so the defendant lawyer, so the plaintiff lawyer can proceed to the cross-examination.
Before this incident, Bruce wasn't violent, right?
He wasn't, no.
Do you think if you received such insults, you will stay calm?
Maybe.
Thank you.
Is that your testimony?
Yes, that's all.
Okay. So we've heard all the lawyer and all the witness. I invite them now to give the jury their closing arguments. So the plaintiff lawyer may begin.
The fact is that the hospital lied to the Trevorrow's family because they said that he was always sick in the hospital. Besides, at this moment, Bruce was in the host family. Furthermore, Bruce was suffering of discrimination.
You may continue.
Okay, so the really facts are that Bruce would not be alive without the government and his adoptive parents. He would still be sick and would not have an education. The government had helped this man and rescued him. That's a fact. Of course, he was epileptic, but his adoptive family did all is possible to help him.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I've heard all the evidence, and now it's time for you to decide or not if the government is culprit of the kidnapping and the childhood of Bruce Trevorrow. You and each of you don't have to forget that you have to try to judge this case and to give a true verdict according to the evidence and the law. Thank you. After hearing the statements and examining the case, I declare the government culprit of the kidnapping of Bruce Trevorrow. They have to give him a reward of $100,000. I declare the trial over. J'ai l'impression qu'on a oublié des trucs.